Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wizards at Work. That's Julie,
That's Dylan.
and we are clocking in. Today, we got to talk about favorite campaign settings. Which ones we like the most for various reasons. And I think I'll let Julie take the reins on the start.
Oh
First
no. I don't know where to start. So when we were deciding this, we didn't really make a plan. I think you went with more so the official campaign settings, and I went with campaign settings that were made up.
I kind of went with both.
Okay, you went with both. Okay. Because we didn't talk beforehand. We were like, favorite campaign settings? Sure.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at my notes. It's been a week, and I don't really remember what I wrote in my notes, so this is going to be fun. So the first thing on my notes are fantasy time period, not medieval, and it's like, so like 60s and 80s, leaning heavily towards the aesthetic and vibe of it all, which isn't a fantasy time period. So
no, but that's okay, because I love settings that are modern settings. Yeah. It's very, I mean, the whole premise of D&D was like you do a fantasy setting to escape like modern time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like escapism, except I actually find it might be a little ironic that my favorite campaign settings are modern settings. I don't prefer the high fantasy like medieval style. I prefer a modern setting.
I love high fantasy medieval. It's my favorite thing. But also the idea of a tiefling in the 80s and just really diving deep into that like aesthetic and vibe of the area is really cool. Especially like the idea of a half-orc playing at an arcade and then going rollerblading. That just seems fun.
It's cute.
Yeah.
And also, that was actually the first one I have written down. What I guess is similar is futuristic / modern style.
That's nice.
Like futuristic is kind of like past our current time, like futuristic, like high tech stuff.
Yeah, like floating cities.
I love it. Yes. I love it so much because there's new roleplay options that probably weren't options in a medieval setting, and it allows for ideas that just can't exist in medieval D&D. Like electricity. That's not really a thing. There's like magic that involves lightning, but there's no power that's used for, like, you don't use it to generate energy to like turn on lights and stuff. So I think stuff with electricity is really cool. And the fact that medieval settings are like the primary setting for D&D makes a lot of really cool game content that people have homebrewed and like unearthed arcana stuff, makes it unusable. Like technomancy is completely useless if you're not in a setting where like wires and electricity and screens are prevalent. It makes it completely useless because you have nothing to use it on.
I feel like that original D&D with the high fantasy stuff is good to get used to D&D. But once you understand the basics, it's like training wheels. And after a while, you take off the training wheels, and now you're in space.
Yeah, take off the training wheels, and you're in Spelljammer.
Yeah. Or the 80s.
Or the 80s. Yeah. Like, and there's entire subclasses that have been made to like embody these types of like electronic settings. But they can't be used, and if you want to use them, you gotta figure out a way to adapt it to a setting where there isn't wires and electricity and screens, which are necessary for these things. So it's very weird to try and adapt something that requires something to not have it. Like the Ghost in the Machine Warlock is so fun. The roleplay is interesting. The abilities are interesting. But you can't really use the Ghost in the Machine Warlock if you're not in a futuristic setting, or at least a modern setting. For example, the the Ghost of the Machine Warlock has its 6th level feature Wire Walk. So you gain the ability to travel short distances over electrical wires, data lines, or telephone cables. As a bonus action, you can touch a device or socket connected to a hardwired network and teleport along this network to another device or socket within your line of sight. Once you use the feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest.
That's super sick.
It's so sick. The idea of like the flavor of someone touching a socket and then like zoop, to get like ported into the socket, and they like travel along and they're instantly wherever they wanted to go. That idea is so cool. And it doesn't exist if you don't have like electrical wires and data and like telephone cables.
Okay, but what would happen if you're like traveling through like electricity cables and someone just cuts the cable?
And you come out wherever it got cut.
Okay.
Probably.
I don't know.
Or
I don't know how electricity works.
The travel's instantaneous, or almost instantaneous.
I would think it'll take a bit, like at least a half a second to get to point A to point B.
Yeah, but what's the chance that someone's going to time that half a second? Because
I don't
if you're
know.
covering a distance in half a second, that means it takes half a second to go half that distance. Which means someone would need to time something for 0.25 seconds and cut it.
Why is there math in my fun roleplay game?
It would take a lot of unrealistic timing for someone to be able to cut you off while you're traveling at light speed.
What if there's like a lot of electricity traffic right now though? Like it's 5 p.m.
Oh my god. It's rush hour.
It's rush hour, yeah.
The telephone cable.
The Twitter notifications are going through at the same time.
All those Ghosts of the Machine Warlocks trying to get to work.
Totally.
And then there's stuff. I think that personally, one of my favorite spell lists is the Techno Magic spells. And stuff like Digital Phantom and Arcane Hacking and Invisibility to Cameras. Those spells are so cool. They're so interesting. But they're all requiring this specific campaign setting. And I've seen people on like Reddit and stuff, they try to adapt it to a high fantasy setting. Yeah. It's very difficult because I saw someone who suggested, you know how like, so wizards, the way they work is, how their magic works is they're tugging on the strings of reality and they're manipulating that energy to like cast spells. Someone suggested, what if Ghost in the Machine Warlock in a high fantasy setting was moving along those strings that are being tugged on in the universe? But then I thought they could literally go anywhere they want.
Yeah. If
that was the case, because those strings, the fabric of reality is everywhere. So they could go wherever they want. So it doesn't really work. It's really difficult to transfer to a different setting.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about the setting?
No. I think you're very right.
Any dislikes about the modern or futuristic setting? Any drawbacks?
Any drawbacks? I feel like extreme. What? Like extremely modern? Are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking like if a campaign setting was like literally 2022.
Oh, the current day, not like.
Yeah.
Okay, current day.
Well, I'm talking like 1980s to like now. I'm
talking
okay.
Because you earlier you said like future. So I was kind of like.
I'm talking like both.
Okay, you're talking
because like Ghost of the Machine Warlock would be better in a super futuristic campaign, but it can also work in just like a modern 2022 campaign.
I actually wouldn't agree with that because I feel like it will work really well right now and maybe the 90s, but in the super futuristic area, like 3022, let's say. How and all like those fantasy concept arts and stuff. How many cables do you really see? Everything's more wireless.
Well, I would say that you don't see them because they are put in places where they are not inconvenient to your eye.
I feel like with like everyone's like ideas of the future, it's like all like holograms and this and that. So I wouldn't really see that subclass working for that specific. It will have to be like this right now, current day and age. That being said,
I think that a lot of the futuristic stuff is like there's innovation, But ultimately, they're going to need baseline stuff like connections to things, and the connections to things are going to have to come from somewhere like wires. Mm-hmm. And as long as we have the internet, there's always going to be that huge cable at the bottom of the ocean that gives us our internet. So, I mean, I think that there's also a lot of, when there's something that's inconvenient in like an urban setting, like a power plant, they will cover it with a big fake building to make it look aesthetically pleasing to the area and fit with the other architecture in the area, so there's not just a huge power transformer in the middle of the road. They cover them. They cover inconvenient things that look bad to your eye to make it aesthetically pleasing.
Like I feel like it also depends on your DM and what the world. It's very, very depending on the world building that the DM chooses. Mm-hmm. It's like it depends on if they want to do like everything's wireless, everything's connected to your brain or whatever, or there's still cables in XYZ.
Mm-hmm. I think even if I think ultimately they're always gonna. I mean, even in a futuristic setting, they're gonna be able to transfer themselves through some sort of connection to something.
I guess so. You're right. There is probably always gonna be some sort of hub.
Yeah.
But
because it has to connect to something.
Yeah, it has to connect to something. You're right. But how would they get to that connection if everything's wireless? In my mind, everything's wireless.
Well, let's say there's a holographic screen of something. There's a holographic projection, but then underneath the table, there's all the wiring for the holographic projection.
Okay.
Maybe it's contained inside of the table that's a box, like a metal box, and the hologram just comes out the top, but there is wiring.
Okay, I can see that.
That's how I think. And I think even if something's like a big hovering, like, blimp, but it's like, futuristic, like levitation type thing, you'll be able to go where you need to within the blimp because the blimp has wires inside of it, like in the walls of it and stuff like that, and in throughout the floor and stuff like that, because they don't show you the wires in that, but they hide it to make it aesthetically pleasing. But the wires and the connections are always there. They're just out of sight.
Okay.
That's just what I think. I think that a drawback of a modern or futuristic setting, especially a super futuristic setting, could be a kind of like where we circle all the way back around and have the same issue, but in reverse, where it's so futuristic that magic can't exist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because electricity at this point is magic, if you think about it.
Yeah, a little
Let's
bit.
think about... Wait, 1 second, Dylan. Hear me out. The internet. That's kind of wild, don't you think?
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Just a little bit. Google.
Bluetooth? What the fuck is Bluetooth?
I'm terrified of Bluetooth. I am terrified of Bluetooth. I will not go into that right now, but Bluetooth scares me.
What the hell is Bluetooth, and why is it connecting?
Yeah, why can it connect to my car? Why can it connect to my TV? How can the thing on my phone connect to my TV by just simply pressing a button? I don't like it. I don't trust it. It freaks me out. I also just really hate technology.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Bluetooth is freaky.
Thank you so much for agreeing with me. Bluetooth sucks.
I don't comprehend Bluetooth. And nobody try and explain it to me because I will have a panic attack.
Me too. I actually don't have headphones for my phone anymore because I thought I got a new phone recently and I thought it was still one of the cables. It's Bluetooth only, so I just don't have headphones anymore because I don't trust Bluetooth.
Oh my god.
I'm an old person. I don't like Bluetooth.
You're like, there's 5G in the air.
Dylan, there's 5G in the air. I'm so sorry to tell you this. No, technology freaks me out.
I think that there could be the turn all the way back around, circle around, reverse issue of, it's hard to make the Ghost in the Machine warlock work in a fantasy setting because there's no electricity. But then the further you go into the future, the more things are explained by science and less mystical things. Yeah. So how would a wizard pull on the strings of reality when they can explain the strings of reality in a technological way? I don't know. It's kind of like... I
think it also... The world... Wizards upgrade with the world, in my opinion. Like, because everything within time also gets explained with time. Medical phenomenons type of deal. Years ago, we wouldn't understand. But now, as the world grows, we understand certain things. So I think the same will happen with wizards, and I feel like they will also grow and explain with the world. And maybe they'll advance above the strengths of the universe.
Yeah, I think that also considering they're an intelligence caster, you know, they kind of, the scientists who are figuring out the technology would also be the wizards. Because of the intelligence factor. Also, they would, you know, technomancy. They would be technomancy wizards, the people who are making technological advancements.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't necessarily... It's kind of like the thing where, like, as science progresses, things like religion become harder to explain. Things that are mystical become harder to explain. Or harder to explain in that way. So, like, as science defines something, that mystical nature just kind of shrinks a little bit. But it could be that the magic of wizards and sorcerers and stuff, they become in the same category as science.
Yeah,
in this D&D world.
I've always felt like, especially wizards, because they're intelligence casters, like you said, even in fantasy settings, they even had a big part in like the education and the science and the logic of the world. So I don't feel like that'll be hard to translate into the futuristic setting. I think what will be hard to translate would probably be druids.
Yeah, it would kind of end up being like a them and us. Like druids are like traditional type thing, or like they want to. It would be like they're trying to preserve nature, while wizards are trying to like technologify everything.
Yeah. It also feels.
Also,
go ahead.
I think that sorcerers would be a little odd.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like sorcerers would see slowly. Already, sorcerers are very rare to come by, sorta, and like lore-wise, they're very hard to come by. But even now, generations, they'll be extremely rare. And also, back to the druid talk, depends on the setting of the future. But most very futuristic settings, they're either in space or like there's no, like the Lorax, they had inflatable trees. How would a druid survive in that sort of?
It would be a secret druid.
What if
secret druid that's bringing back nature?
Okay, but hear me out. Mr. O'Hare is a druid.
O'Hare?
O'Hare druid? Trying to capitalize over druid abilities? A capitalistic druid?
Oh my god.
Hear me out, Dylan. I think
That's
we just got a new
insane.
D&D character.
That's insane.
A capitalistic druid. Oh, they wiped out all of the
wiped out the crops.
And
so
they're the
they
only one that could do it.
Their own crops.
Yeah. Oh my.
Oh, I'm writing this one down.
Oh, Dylan, I am so smart.
This is going in the Google Sheets.
They're going into the vault.
Oh, the vault, my vault of characters. Holy
For those who
shit.
don't know, Dylan makes a new character every day, pretty much.
I need to. It's like venting.
Anyways, I love my capitalistic druid.
I am now obsessed with this idea. Anyways, yeah. I think that there would be a lot of plot that could be had with the magic of the world, because it would need to be intertwined with the science of the world.
Definitely.
Alright. Next setting. What's your second setting that you have decided on?
Well, apparently I wrote a paragraph for this one.
That's great.
That's great. I don't I don't remember. So I'm just gonna read it out loud and hope it makes sense. A group of old adventurers that were once like really popular and are now just grandparents and minding their own business with their grandchildren have their own adventuring party. And they get captured by an arch enemy or whatever. Anyways, it is up to the old party to get back together for one last time. Now this doesn't make sense right now, but as I read it, I remembered what I was trying to go for. So, a group of really, really old adventuring party that was very, 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 very popular. And they're retired now, some are in retirement homes, some are still living with their family. And their grandchildren formed their own adventuring party from the stories from the grandparents. They get trapped by a lich or something, who knows. which means the old adventuring party has to get back together for one last adventure to save their grandchildren. I feel like this would be really fun.
Backstreet Boys reunion.
Backstreet Boys reunion. I think it'd be really, really fun, because not only is it you're already connected with the party, maybe you had a falling out with someone and you didn't really keep talking to each other all those years, and maybe you're still connections with some of your party members. Who knows? And also, just the voices that will come out of it and the role play seems really fun. It's a very lighthearted campaign. A group of just grandparents trying to save their grandchildren by an evil warlock.
My character would be inspired by the nun villain from Minions Rise of Gru.
Never seen it.
Well, you should. It's a cinematic masterpiece.
I think we have very different definitions of cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, mine's good and yours isn't.
Okay.
She's one of the villains in like the main antagonist group, and she's a nun, and she can literally, her villain name is Nunchucks.
Okay, that's cool.
And she has nunchucks, and she is a nun, and it's very funny. She is absurdly fast, considering she does not move her legs very much, and she can hover with the power of God.
Okay.
And it's really funny. And my character would be like the barbarian in the group who retired and became a cleric, and then came back, and they are nunchucks.
I love that so much. Like, imagine, what's a race I don't really talk about enough? A lizard folk.
Turtle. Yeah,
imagine a turtle grandmother who's actually a monk and uses their walking stick or cane as a bow staff.
Master Oogway, core.
Okay, now, sometimes I say things, and sometimes you bring other things up, which I don't mean to connect.
Yeah, Master Oogway core.
Anyways, I just think it'd be a fun setting. A silly little like, three-part campaign, one shot. It's not a big of a deal. It's just fun.
Yeah, agree.
What about you?
My second one is I do full disclosure. I love plagiarism.
I know you do.
I love doing something in D&D that is just, you're basically taking something from a different source and putting it in D&D context and playing it. I love it. So
most of your characters is someone from a video game. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. A lot of my characters are inspired by or trying to literally create a character from a video game or a movie or television show. But so the second category I have is video game, movie, or television worlds. So I like them because they're simple to conceptualize, like new stories for the existing world, because the world's already there. You have some characters, you can create some more if you need them, and you know the context and you know the current setting of that world, so you can build a story off of it instead of having to start from scratch and create history of somewhere and like creating stories from that place. You have a place that already has an established history.
Yep.
Recent and past history. So
okay.
I like that, being a DM, not having to start building the foundations for something to then start building the actual campaign, because building the pre-events of a campaign can be longer than the campaign.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it takes a lot of creative energy to do that, when the creative energy could be invested in making the story for what the characters will actually be playing, as opposed to what happened beforehand. It can take a lot of that creative juice out of you. And there's not much brainstorming you need to do, and it allows for a campaign that people can enter with an understanding of if they know the setting already. So something like a video game world, like, okay, one of my favorite D&D settings that inspires me a lot is Runeterra, League of Legends Runeterra.
I'm so sorry.
Because that world has, okay, shut your mouth. That world has so much lore in it There's so much character inspiration. There's so many stories. Even if you're not playing in Runeterra, you can take the inspiration of stories from Runeterra, the characters, archetypes from Runeterra. It is such a great world to play a D&D setting in. Because there's just so much content to get inspiration from, even if you're not directly playing in that setting. There is already fleshed out history in Runeterra's lore, and you can add and remove things to make it exactly how you want. And you can maintain your original inspiration while doing that. And it can really inspire people that are involved in the campaign if they know and love the source material that you're pulling from.
You say this, Dylan, but what happened to your League of Legends campaign that you were working on and never continued?
Procrastination.
Yeah, but...
And not knowing how Roll20 works.
I know, Roll20 is... Once you know, but, like, it's very difficult to learn.
Yeah.
I love it as a player, but I tried building a campaign with it. Very confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, piggybacking off of what you said about video game world as a campaign setting, franchise that I really love is Kingdom Hearts, and that idea of playing in a world of Kingdom Hearts where also multiple different franchises are in, that's sick.
Yeah.
Imagine your tiefling being able to meet Woody. Imagine being able to talk to Goofy.
I'm playing a gunner fighter and I shoot Woody through the fucking eyes.
I was gonna say the boot, but okay.
There's a bullet in my boot.
I hate it so much. But yeah, like, also, you get to meet Final Fantasy characters in the world ends with... That's not the video game. It's not Worlds End With You, right?
That's not the game.
That's not it. That's not the video game. I forgot the video game name. Oh well.
I don't know Kingdom Hearts, so I can't help.
It's okay. I know you don't know Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, I just think it would be really cool to hang out with Goofy and Donald with a D&D party.
Yeah, I agree. I think also it would be really fun to figure out what classes those characters are.
Well, I mean, Donald and Goofy already have classes, to be real.
Yeah, but it'd be fun making them.
Yeah, good point.
Like making them a character sheet.
Do you think, since our resident bard really likes Kingdom Hearts as well, do you think we can peer pressure him to making a Kingdom Hearts one shot?
Probably, honestly. He could probably have it done in 2 days flat.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, that's on him. If he wants to do it.
Also, with speaking of bards and music, you can just take music from the video game world or the media or whatever.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, the soundtrack's already done. You don't have to go scouring the internet for songs.
Yes, the soundtracks are complete. And if there's a boss fight and you're fighting the boss, you just take their theme
song. Boss, yeah. And also the boards. You don't have to find maps and stuff online or whatever.
True.
You can just take the actual boards from the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or from the game, yeah.
There's just it makes it a lot simpler, and you can invest more time into making like the playable content. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff like television worlds, where, I mean, something like a crime city type setting, like a superhero show.
Yeah.
That's a great inspiration for a campaign. A movie. I feel like movie inspiration is good for one-shots.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the shorter form content compared to a long-form television show, where you visit a lot of places, you meet a lot of characters. In a movie, it's kind of like the condensed plot of something.
Yeah.
So you can take, like, a few things from a movie for inspiration and then build a campaign off of it. Alright, last campaign setting.
Okay. Do I go through my multiple honorable mentions at this point?
Yes.
Okay, Dylan, do you have any honorable mentions? Okay.
Do
you have any honorable? Okay, well, here we go. I'll just go really fast then.
No, take your time.
There's a lot. Okay, so I'm just gonna go really quick because these are just bullet points that I wrote down really fast. Regular humans can transport to D&D, or D&D gets transported here. Both are good options. Very common. People do one-shots of those. We were in a one-shot of that. Very common ideas, common setting. Very fun, though. An all-noble campaign. This is mostly because I want a campaign that's full of dances and dressing up. I am a simple being, and if I can't go out and wear pretty dresses and run down a castle hall, I want my D&D character too. I think that would be fun. Being able to go to a masquerade party for a one-shot. Great. I can't do this one because I have to talk about my last one first. An all-bard campaign that is just a traveling boy band.
Yeah.
That one I think is my favorite. One. Yeah,
I love that one. We call it Two Directions.
Or, I hate that so much, actually. I think I want to take that one off.
Two Directions.
In sync instead of not in sync.
3 seconds of winter.
I hate. Shut up.
Oh my god. Okay. I am the funniest person that I know.
I'm so sorry. You have to know more people.
Shut up.
Okay. You are a monster one shot, and the whole thing is setting up the dungeon for the adventurers. Bonus points if your current campaign players go into said dungeon months later. Don't like that one?
No, I like that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm just still thinking about boy band names.
Stop thinking about boy band names.
Front Road Guys.
Stop it.
Front Road Men.
No.
That's the opposite of Backstreet Boys.
Okay, Dylan, I'm gonna need you to rein it in.
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay, so we have a lot of shows and stories about magic schools. But what about the magic faculty? We always have like these stories about
true.
We always have these stories about 15-year-olds saving the world. What about the teachers? What about the lunch lady being able to fight off the lunch monster for the students?
Lunch lady barbarian?
Yeah, the spoon is like their weapon.
Yeah. The ladle?
The ladle, yeah, definitely. The school nurse is the cleric. And the regular school and teachers are like the ones solving the mysteries. I think that'd be really fun. Once again, just a one-shot. But still, it'd be really fun.
Wow.
I love when I have a big brain moment. And this is a very common one as... Don't me. Okay, this is a very common one as well. A lot of people do this, but I still think it's very fun, and we should probably convince our DM to do. I think it'd be really fun for you to play a rock. Just an all-familiar one-shot.
All-familiar one-shot?
Yeah, so you'd be playing as Grok Jr., aka a rock.
Oh my god.
Our bard would play as the bird. I would play as Purdy. And I don't know, we have to get Elda familiar.
Familiar.
Yeah. Elda plays as Elda.
Elda is Elda. Oh my god, it's Elda and the familiars.
And no one believes her.
Yeah, and she's talking to them.
Yeah.
Elda's off her meds.
No, they're not. A no homebrew campaign, because that's just a regular campaign. But I think we play a lot of... Pardon me?
I'm gonna struggle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it'd be fun, just for like a couple of sessions, just do no homebrew, and just do basic source material. Just to be try being creative, Dylan. Stop trying to plagiarize. Just be creative. Okay.
No, because what do you mean try being creative? I make my own homebrew. That is peak creativity. What are you talking about?
Okay.
You joshing me, bud?
Okay, Canadian. That was the most Canadian sentence you've ever said.
Okay.
You want to go to Timmy's?
You're telling me that... In fact,
you want to get some Timbits?
I want a toasted everything bagel with cream cheese and an orange pico tea with 1 cream, 1 sugar. That is what I want.
Imagine being a Canadian.
Shut up. You are annoying. I think... What was I going to say? I was going to say something about something. Oh no. I wanted to say it so bad.
Oh no, the Canadian snow is in your brain.
You couldn't drop the bit for 2 seconds to let me remember.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, the no homebrew campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the no homebrew campaign would be fun, but I also think that you said it, so it's just official content only, because
Just
I'm
official
worried
content.
because there are revised classes.
Yeah.
And
Rangers, for example.
Yeah, because Ranger sucks. The
Okay.
player handbook Ranger sucks.
I'm a Paladin Ranger multi-class. Be careful.
Well, the Ranger-based classes suck.
Yeah, they do.
And there's the revised Beastmaster, which is great. And actually, not to go off topic, but have you seen the revised Ranger for 1 D&D yet?
Not yet. I haven't looked at the new classes.
It's so good.
Okay, I'll look at it
It's so
later.
good.
Okay.
But yeah,
We should talk
I'm
about the
tempted to
classes sometime.
we should. I'm tempted to use the 1 D&D Ranger in normal 5e because they're backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to use it because it looks cool. But yeah, like I would want to clarify that you can use revised classes, because I would want to play a Ranger, but I would not want to play a Beastmaster Ranger from the player's handbook.
Okay. I feel like that would be okay since it's.
It's
I don't
an
know, that'd be
official
okay.
revision.
If it's an official revision, yes, that should be
Okay.
allowed.
Okay. But I can't use my Bayonetta Umber Witch class, right?
No, you can't. I'm so sorry. You can't be Bayonetta Wildmount.
I mean, I can try.
You can try. It'll be hard to do using official stuff, but you can try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All the players help build the world, and then they start as level 1. They are the gods of the world, but they aren't allowed to use their godly abilities because they're trying to pass as immortal. Bonus points if they're really bad at anything and everything.
That's without a doubt. The useless one is without a doubt gonna be the resident monk's character, because
Listen,
they're
I don't
always
believe
the most
so.
useless character.
I think it'd be fun though if we like separate. This would be like an all homebrew campaign, by the way. It would be like we divvy up the workload, so one person makes like all the wildlife and stuff, and one person makes all the bosses or whatever, and then you don't tell the party that this is who they're going to be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be really fun. It's also just fun to.
Funny.
And also, every D&D campaign loves to pretend they're gods for like at least for a bit.
Yeah.
Walking into
it's
a
just
town,
really
you don't
fun.
know. Yeah, it is really fun. It's like we did that before, but I don't remember when.
Yeah.
This kind of ties back to the video game world that we were talking about earlier. For the third campaign setting, dimension hopping and time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, not my third campaign setting. I meant like this is still my honorable mentions. They do have a third campaign setting.
Mm-hmm.
Dimension hopping. Our friend and our resident bard is trying to host a campaign that's been years in the making.
Yeah, literally, not even exaggerating.
No, not exaggeration. Like 3 years at this point, and all the work our resident bard is putting into it is amazing because they're putting he's putting references from old campaigns and different universes, and our characters are from different universes and different universes he's building, and it's a time travel, time loop campaign in different dimensions.
Yeah.
And he has an entire, what's those things called? Those trees? Those...
What? Those trees?
The...
Maple.
No, I'm not talking about different types of trees. I'm talking about those timelines. Like, he has a timeline and, like, different paths that we can go through depending on what we do. It's and also he has a function for unmulti-classing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can go into a lot of detail about all the work he's putting into it. That's not even done yet. Even for my character, because I came in with a really wild idea and he was like, okay. And he went with it.
I think I'm on my second or third character decision for his campaign, which made him have to delete the world my character was from and then do a different one, which was just so annoying.
Definitely. We're annoying people to work with. But I can gush about this campaign that's not even started yet forever.
Yeah, same.
Anyways.
All of our characters, I'm going to start gushing about it. All of our characters he's made feats that our characters will be able to get, even if we're at the feat limit, that are made for our characters that we need to obtain by doing a specific thing. And the campaign is so complex where it's like, we need to unlock certain plot points or like things for our character by going to a certain world and then doing a specific thing, like moving a chair this way or opening this door and leaving it open when we leave, like don't close it on your way out. And then when we go back at a different time, there'll be a new thing there for us to discover. So like anything we do will change the outcome of something. And it's a time loop campaign, so we go back each time and like go to unlock different places. And like if we move this chair, then a person will go to sit there and they fall down and now they're angry and then they start this war, and it's like it'll be like just like a crazy butterfly effect campaign that is across time. And it's been going for 3 years now. Like hasn't started, but he's been planning it. I get like little spoilers here and there. We talk sometimes and he gives me spoilers and lets me read some of his notes, and Dylan, let me tell you, it's wild. It's such big brain stuff. I can never do something like that. That's so crazy. I've gotten some of the notes as well.
Yeah, like he made the backrooms canon.
Adding layers.
Yeah,
I know. He keeps adding layers. I heard about the backrooms and I was like, this is gonna be so good.
This is so silly. But you don't have, like, for your campaigns at home, you don't have to add the backrooms, but you can do like a all black and white universe noir mystery style, or an all cartoon universe, and give people inspiration doing stuff based on that world. Like imagine the barbarian taking their hammer and allow the cartoony bang and bubble letters pop out, and because they're cartoons, I just think that'd be fun. But yeah, I think everyone should experience the dimension hopping, maybe time travel campaign. Yeah. Just once.
It'll take a while, but...
Take a while, yeah. 3 years and plus.
Yeah, but do it.
Okay. I'm done with all my honorable mentions. If you want to take...
the real mention.
Do you want to take it, or do you want me to start again?
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Okay.
So my final decision was... Well, I say my final decision, and then I mention like 3 different... 3 or 4 different like things in this one. So I have official sources like Ravenloft, as well as third-party sources like Xanathar, Tasha's, and Drakenheim. By the Dungeon Dudes, because I need to mention them every episode.
So far you have a track record, yes?
Yes. I love the Gothic horror, Eldritch horror, and Dark powers in my D&D worlds. I think they're very cool. Ravenloft being like pocket dimensions in the demi-plane of Dread, and Dark powers holding these pocket dimensions together and connecting them, and things like how a morally impure character can be influenced and controlled by the dark forces in Ravenloft through Dark powers checks. And there's great roleplay for certain classes that can be deemed as evil classes or stuff like that, like warlocks. There's great roleplay for good classes, new classes and subclasses and creatures in campaigns like Drakenheim. I love when new material adds classes and subclasses and spells and monsters, because it allows people to really involve themselves in the theme of the campaign. Like, I know in Drakenheim by the Dungeon Dudes, they added a whole new like magic system, and it's like corrupted magic almost, I think, and they added like this. They added kind of like I think it was something for each a subclass for each class that is themed around this type of corruption, and it's just I love that type of immersion and expanding subclass options for people.
I see. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and Tasha's. Oh my god, we can talk about Tasha's forever. Just Tasha's everything that happened in Tasha's was amazing. The way she
You're
made
Tasha's
sorcerers like
biggest fan.
almost good.
Almost good for sorcerers. They would be so good if they were just con casters.
Yeah. We have an episode on it.
Yeah, you spent 26 minutes talking.
Yeah. Worth it. Alright. How about you?
Dylan, you know this idea. I told you this idea. It's a horrendous idea.
Is it? Yeah, I know it. I know it.
It's the old switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I told you this idea in Instagram DMs once. Because it was such a bad idea.
Oh, yes.
It's such a dumb idea as well. And I think this can only work with a campaign of really close friends, because I don't go into a campaign with people that you don't know and do this, because that's just mean. So you're the game master, and you tell your players during character creation to do whatever they want. The sky's the limit. If they want a heavy lore backstory, maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to play a Firbolg Druid, which are also really good characters. That's fine. Do whatever they want. The only rule is they can't explain their backstory to any of the players before the campaign starts. They can start with other players, like say 2 characters want to be siblings or cousins. That's fine, but keep at least like 95% of your backstory a secret. Okay, now the session starts and everyone has their character sheet down. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yep.
You take all the character sheets and give them to a different player. No player should have their own sheet. Listen. It gets 10 times worse. So now your players are panicking because they don't know how to act. This person, or where they're prepared to play a gunslinger, they're now getting ready to play a wizard. Chaos ensues. Love it. Perfect. Now, you continue the session like normal until the end. When the players go for the long rest, do the DM dream sequence thing that all DMs do at least once in our campaign, and explain to them they know this isn't who they are. Memories are the true selves, / before they usually sleep. You know, like when you go to sleep, you remember, this wasn't me. I'm actually, I don't know, John over there. That's who I am. And tomorrow, you awaken another party member's body. Pretty much, the OG player doesn't get to play their character until the curse is broken. When a party member switches bodies with another party member, they have none of their own memories, but instead, memories of the body they're inhabiting. Like the childhood and friends and stuff. Only when they are about to sleep, they remember which one of them they are. It's a horrible and dumb and silly. It's so stupid. Don't do it. Though. It should only be like 3 to 4 sessions or a one shot, or even starting off a long-term campaign that way would be fun. But breaking the curse like really, really quickly. I think it'll be bad. I think
like
it's stupid. I think it's stupid, and I think it's dumb. Oh yeah, definitely. I think
another kind of stupid idea that I guess will be my honorable mention for now. I saw it on Reddit. It was, this person made a campaign with plot that accommodates people who can't be there. So basically what would happen was, it was something like, if somebody couldn't make it to a session, let's say they're on session 30, and somebody couldn't make it to session 30, their character would disappear from the campaign for that session. And it would be, the other party members would have to wake up and recognize that they weren't there. And basically what they did was, whenever someone couldn't be there, their character was called upon by a deity to go and fight or serve them or do something in a different dimension.
Oh, I love that.
Incorporated that into the plot. So whenever someone couldn't be there, and they wouldn't remember what happened when they came back. And the plot was basically leading up to them actually consciously going to this dimension and interacting with the deity that called them. And
you come back with like a coconut and an umbrella and be like, where's she going? I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, it was really cool. I just liked the way that they tried to accommodate players that couldn't be there, and actually not just like say that they got lost and you couldn't find them, just that there was actually a long-term plot reason for why they weren't there.
I like that a lot, yeah. Sorry, Louis Barkin. He also enjoys it.
It's okay.
I make characters that are easy to leave or like disappear for some time in case I can't show up for a session. So having that as a way to incorporate the actual lore of the overall campaign, I find very interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'll add that to my work in progress campaign that I'm doing.
Let's go. Yeah.
My superhero campaign that you know about.
Yeah. So now for AITBBEG. Am I the big bad evil guy? I, female, old, have been pulling pranks on my adventure buddy, male, age unknown, since we have met and we started a prank war. He is objectively really bad at it, but that is besides the point. When we first met, he was sleeping in the woods. He had something shiny on him, and I took it as a joke. It was funny seeing him wake up and panic looking for it. I then introduced myself, and apparently, the thing I stole was a very special item. I told him to play against me in cards to see if he could win it back. I was not expecting him to be very bad at cards. I took pity and lost on purpose. Fast forward to today, and we've been friends ever since, but I still feel slightly guilty about our first encounter. I never did apologize, but I'm wondering, would it be awkward if I bring it up now, after all this time? Am I the big bad evil guy? I mean...
You brought it on yourself.
Yeah.
First of all, let's take a step back here. You took this guy's item when you never even met him?
Yeah, just taking it for fun. As a joke. What do you mean as a joke?
Joke? You don't know this person.
You don't know this person, and also...
That's just theft.
How are they supposed to know it's a joke?
First of all, you just committed a crime.
Yeah, that's just theft. I mean, you're friends now, but that wasn't cool.
But I get, like, it's kind of awkward to bring up something you did before. They probably don't even really remember it. Or maybe they do remember it.
Maybe, I don't know, though. The person they described seems a little, naive.
I guess so. Also, it depends on your skill set. Like, maybe you're just super good at cards and they're just average. Not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe... Hey, we don't know if you were even cheating. What if you were cheating at cards? Seems like I'm not to be rude, but it seems like something you would do if you would steal someone's item that you don't know.
Yeah. You seem pretty mischievous. I would say, considering that you did decide to lose, you took pity on them, and then you guys became friends. I mean, I don't know if I would say that they're the big bad evil guy, considering that they weren't serious about the theft. It was just kind of like a haha. It did scare the other person, but they gave it back. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the sequence of events that I see is that some guy was sleeping in the woods. You saw a shiny item. You stole it, played it off as a joke when you got caught, and saying it's a joke when I feel like it wasn't a joke.
Yeah, that's possible, actually. Maybe
we don't know the whole story.
Maybe it's a yes.
But then again, they're saying they feel guilty.
Yeah.
There must be a conscience.
They have remorse.
Was that because you became friends? Would you have felt remorse if you didn't become friends?
Yeah. And if you didn't get caught.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. This is difficult.
I think you are.
I would...
Should apologize. I always think apologies are good. I don't care if it's awkward. You kind of brought that on yourself.
I think you should apologize, and I think...
It doesn't have to be awkward. You can just bring it up like while you're playing cards or something. Be like, hey, remember that time when we first met and I stole your very special item? Yeah, sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah. I would say that...
Nonchalant.
I mean, if they're cool now, if you're cool with them now, then maybe you're not the big bad evil guy.
I disagree. I think they are.
This is a very morally ambiguous BBEG. Huh.
Because you took it... First of all, you committed a crime. You stole someone's item while they were sleeping. Someone you don't know.
I think it's a yes.
Yeah, you are. Apologize.
Yeah, you are. You need to apologize in order to become not the BBEG.
Is that like the jury? The judge gavel.
Yeah. If you apologize, I think you will no longer be the big bad evil guy. That's what I think. But for now, it's a yes. Considering what you did initially. You are the big bad evil guy. Alright. I think that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. We gotta get back to work. That's Julie.
That's Dylan.
And we are punching out. See ya.
Bye-bye.